Welcome to Her Incredible Mind, where we are highlighting some of the most successful women in science, technology, engineering, and math. These women are inspirational leaders, showing resilience in the face of adversity. By sharing these success stories, we hope to gain insight, inspire, and help guide those who are struggling on their journey within this industry. Hopefully, their stories will inspire you or someone you know to pursue a career in STEAM. Juanita, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you spending the time to describe your career and your journey on Her Incredible Mind. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do today, what your role is, company and industry that you're in?
Sure. Kate, thank you so much for having me. I'm a user experience and a strategy designer. I work for Retail Business Services. It's a company that provides all sorts of IT and other services to different grocery stores in the States. And yeah, we're basically located in different areas of the States. Some are in Quincy, Massachusetts, some in North Carolina, and it's mostly a retail industry.
So, how did you decide on this role? It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's been a ride for sure. My background is in graphic design, but I decided to go to grad school to learn more about user experience. And I found this opportunity, and I think through my work experience, I've learned how important it is to kind of align ethically with the group you work for, and I was able to find that here. I believe strongly that once you're able to be yourself at work, you're able to thrive while doing the daily task. So I was definitely interested in that. And then leadership. My current mentor is someone that empowers me to look for the things that I'm passionate about and kind of, hey, I had this idea. Let's find a way to make it work. I'm interested in learning something else. Let's do it. And he set a high standard for sure. Now, moving forward as a leader, that's my role model, and that's the type of role models that I want to have. So, yeah, that's a little bit of how it's been so far.
You know, the next question is always what matters to you most about the role that you're in right now. And you can tell that your passion for, the leadership and the support of you overall is really what has been a driving force in your career. When you think about that, what do you think about what you would want for yourself to share with other younger girls that were starting their journey?
Yeah, I would say you need to surround yourself with people that inspire you. That's crucial. If you have that support system that really pushes you forward, you have someone to look after and to learn from, that completely changes your career. You have an opportunity to learn, to open yourself to different opportunities, even explore things you never thought you would like. So it's for sure something that changes your future.
So what do you like best about what you're doing now?
I love that's a tricky question. I would say I love helping people through design and being able to provide my knowledge as a way to open different opportunities for them. A lot of what I do is research and sit down with users and empathize with them and understand, why is this something that you need? How is it impacting your day-to-day life? And things like that. And you get a different lens to look at the world. You're very sensitive to things, and you get to understand the day-to-day things in a different way. And then you also get an opportunity to create an impact with what you're able to deliver. And that's what I like the most, being able to change someone's day-to-day or impact it in a positive way through what I know, what I've learned.
That's great. It's nice to hear. When you think about your career, have you changed your career path at all, Juanita, when you've kind of been, getting into your role that you're in now?
It changes every 5 minutes. It's been a constant change, and I think for me, that's been the biggest learning experience so far. I was so fixed into, I did graphic design and I need to do what a graphic designer does. and just the experiences that I got exposed to, the opportunities that I was offered kept pushing me out of that, and I was fighting with it. I didn't feel like I had the knowledge to explore something else, or I felt like you're not taking advantage of what you learned for taking a different position. And now I see it as a blessing, just changing constantly and getting interested in different type of things and exploring all sorts of areas. It's been super valuable for my career, and I would say it also makes you stand up when you're compared to a different candidate, just saying, hey, I don't practice laws, but I had a mini training in laws, and that's like, oh, so you're a designer, but you know about these and these and these. It's super valuable. So I do feel there's a lot of fear when changing your path and we're starting to kind of go somewhere else, but it's the most rewarding and valuable thing that you could do for sure.
You know what's interesting is I always think that women don't like to change streams because they decide that that's, some sort of incorrect way of going through your career. However, I love your perspective on the fact that you wanted to know about everything. And I think that that's one of the things that makes you excel, is that your curiosity for what you're doing in different areas is helping you to achieve that goal of finding out, this is what I really love to do. These things are great, and I like working and doing these other areas of my career. However, focusing on this one area in my career has helped me to really define what my next steps are.
Yeah, being a forever student, I think, is the best thing that you can do for your career and for your personal development. Just keeping your mind open and your eyes kind of after, okay, I like this, let's look after it, let's research it. Okay, I didn't like it, it's fine, let's look for something else. But keep building yourself. I think that's an iterative process that never ends.
You're a very positive person, and I think that that's great, is that you keep your eye on the ball of what the long-term plan for you is. But when you think about your career overall, can you talk about any obstacles that you've had?
Yeah, I would say at the moment it felt like an obstacle. What I was mentioning with my background is in this, and the industry is offering me a lot of things that are not that. It can be challenging, like especially out of school or college, not being able to find a job in what you know and not having the experience to look for something else can be a big challenge. Um, and I would say, and I'm pretty sure you've experienced this, as a female in these role or areas, like for example IT, that is pretty weird. To see women, it's difficult. Like you can struggle through it, or you can feel like they look down at you, and it's a constant push for, hey, I know what I know, and I earn my place here, and I yeah, I'm here for a reason. So that's definitely something that could be a challenge, but it's also a huge learning opportunity.
I think that's fantastic. That is really fantastic. I understand, as being a woman, and when there were even fewer women in IT before, that what that feels like. Is that you're the one woman on the team that really is trying to make sure that she's at the same level as everybody else, and not just considered something of a support person or someone that's just not contributing. They're supposed to do stuff for the rest of the team instead of for herself too as well. So I get where you're coming from with that. When you're thinking about your career as a whole, your role is really dynamic. It's great that you have this whole kind of different roles and responsibilities throughout everything that you're doing, and you've got a natural curiosity, right? That's fantastic. But how do you think that your career now in your industry could be impacted by moving to another industry?
That's a great question. So for example, I'm in a weird position because right now I do a lot of strategy, and you don't formally go to school for strategy. So knowing about any industry it's a massive plus, and you can take strategy anywhere. It's just gonna change the story behind it and the way you're impacting the different area that you're exploring. Um, I don't know if I'm answering the question or if I'm.
Well, I mean, I think that that's what, you know, part of learning the industry and learning a new industry helps you to expand that portfolio of what your just your skills are. So there's one, you know, there's learning your skills, but also learning what industry you want to apply those skills in, you know, and that's something that I think that when you develop over time, a lot of times if you have a role such as a project manager or a technical manager or whatever it may be, you can apply that role in different industries, but very different in different industries. You know, like I always say, if you're a project manager in healthcare versus a project manager in technical, you know, software, you have a very different role in each one of those in each one of those industries. So it's different when you start looking at it. So I think that, you know, obviously you have done amazing in your career with just your outlook is fantastic. But what would you tell your younger self?
I would tell her to hang in there, that she's gonna figure it out. I think the biggest fear back then was, I don't know what I'm doing. And the Juanita of today doesn't know what she's doing, but she's okay with that. And she's navigating um, that uncertainty of where I'm going and what my role is gonna look in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever is it. But I would tell her to hang in there and to trust her intuition for sure. We deep down know what moves us, and I think because we're young or because we don't feel like we have the knowledge, we don't trust that intuition, and it can really take you to amazing places when you listen to it.
I'm a firm believer in intuition. Absolutely. I think that's great. Uh, what would you tell younger girls that want to follow in your shoes?
I would say that it's not gonna be easy and that it's gonna take time, but it's worth it. Taking the time to explore the things that you're passionate about, speaking up for yourself. I think that's a huge thing that I wish someone had told me back then. Kind of, if you want something, share it and say it loud and clear, because sometimes we don't get the opportunities or the things that we are looking for because we didn't ask for them, or we didn't even share that we were interested in them. Um, and I would also say just having the willingness to start over and over, kind of having that resilience to, hey, this didn't work out, let's try again, let's look for a different path, let's look for a different opportunity. That is for sure something that took me where I am, and I wish that was the type of advice that I got early on my career, or even deciding what I was going to do with it.
That's great. That is really great. Um, if you had to take your LinkedIn profile and limit it to 3 words, what would they be?
That's so difficult. I think like my LinkedIn profile is so rigid compared to who I am. And especially because as a designer, LinkedIn is everything that you don't show. So I would say, but for what I have there, I would say curiosity, wonder, and like variety. There's a lot in there.
I think that you are tenacious, and I love that how infectious you are. I think that you do a great job at explaining everything that you're working on, and how passionate you are about it is inspiring to me.
Thank you, Kate. No, I think when you find what really moves you, it comes naturally. Like finding what drives you and it doesn't feel like work, but something that you enjoy doing can completely change the way you do your day to day.
Absolutely, absolutely.